Alec's on deck here.
Isn't this an amazing amount of talent and wonderfulness?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to counterbalance all of that with a little nonsense. I am 007. The going sometimes gets a little rough on the Copper River Flats, especially when a rising southeasterly blows slices obliquely across the bar currents. Such a wind kicks up convoluted waves on top of the already steep rolling humps of the bar's ebb current that make negotiating these waters a difficult and challenging nightmare. So, while busting and dodging around and through them, I imagine that I am not on my boat at all, but rather at the wheel of a turbocharged Maserati, somewhere in the Alps, eluding bad guys and impressing babes. I am James Bond, sophisticated and debonair, Agent 007, screeching my way with consummate skill through endless, unpredictable perils, around hairpin turns and through armed roadblocks, dodging bullets and spilling nary a drop of my stirred martini. Finally, back on land, still high with the satisfaction that comes from a successful fishing period and a successful return home. I, Bond, am driving my 1972 GMC pickup truck along the potholed road to my warehouse. But today, something is different, and I realize I soon will be certified Agent 007. Yes, folks, the odometer recently passed 100,000 miles, and it was rapidly for my galumphing GMC, coming up on 007. The odometer will actually say 00007. But it's still true. Right around the next bend, it will declare me 007. Unfortunately, that rush didn't last long, that thrill of fast cars and impressing babes. Something transforming occurred another mile further down the road when my odometer declared me 008. My Maserati morphed into a tired old fish truck. My clothes released the odor of 2 days of sea. The plastic jellyfish dangling from my mirror jiggled its old truck jig. I wheeled off the road into my gravelly parking spot, musing. A raven landed on my hood and laughed at me.
Hi. Hi. I'm Alec from Petersburg, Alaska. I heard you. I heard a thing last night about how cell phones had, a little bit about how some people were, it's in some ways annoyed about the way cell phones have tainted the wilderness. And this is kind of a sort of a backhanded appreciation of that same sort of thing that we take off. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you very much. Can she hear that? Petersburg, it's a good old town full of good old girls and boys, turning on and tuning in with the iPads and Androids. We got GPS to mark the way when we're lost and circling round, and we'll all be friends on Facebook unless the internet goes down. Yes, it's all upscale in the good old burg. We got pavement on the street, muddy dust and the wooden planks no longer trip our feet. Lights are lit with LED and the trees are trimmed and lean. And when the seagulls crap, we get the app to keep the roofs all clean. This little town is perfect when it's time to make a plan. All wired up with internet, the connection's always grand. Right next to the fireplace you could find a comfy nook. There's a friendly crackle, you grab your apple and open up Facebook. Behold, a job is posted of fisherman to be. Herring bait and circle hooks you've headed off to sea. You made a lot of money on a fishing kind of boat, and you sent your mom a selfie and on the back you wrote, Petersburg, it's a good old town full of good old girls and boys, turning on and tuning in with the iPads and Androids. We got GPS to mark the way when we're lost and circling round, and we'll all be friends on Facebook until or unless the internet goes down.
Believe it or not, I'm the last guy on the list. Just when it's getting good, this thing's gonna be over. You know, that's kind of how it is sometimes with the fishing too. You just get into them, and then the gun goes off, and your ears back aboard. But anyway, I will keep it brief. I want to do this because I dug it out, and it's kind of how I feel. I wrote this in 2005, February 27, 2005, on my way up to this event. And I can't even remember where. I think was pre-event center. Anyway, we used to have a saying every year, and we put it on the program, and that year, Sir Walter Scott, not the guy that died in Antarctica, he was a predecessor, and he was the one that was credited. Quote came out of a book he wrote called The Antiquary, 1816. So anyway, I kind of wove this thing around that saying. So here's it goes. It's called Deadheading the Ava. We used to have a little hole-in-the-wall gallery that we inhabited and only held about 60 people, called the AVA, Astoria Visual Arts Gallery. Deadheading the Ava. I find myself back aboard the fishing vessel Ava. We've been delivering all night at the old 10th Street dock. My mouth is filled up with a fish curry flavor. It's been a rough trip, and I'm craving my bunk. We're down in the fish hold. It's 2:45. The floorboards are showing, but it's not over yet. And with pike poles, my shipmate Jon Broderick and me have managed to work up a pretty good sweat. When Captain Densmore hollers down that we're going back out, but I feel like a zombie. I'm dead on my feet. It's still blowing 40. I'm having my doubts. What I wouldn't do now for a few hours sleep. 'Tis then, I imagine in my malaise, the ghosts of dead sailors rising up from the deep, and they're swirling around in the gloom and the haze, come to see who the hell's been disturbing their sleep. Perplexed in my stupor, I turn from my labor. As they close in around us, I'm tempted to flee in their moldering raiment. They've aborted the Ava, swarming up through the floorboards of hold number 3. I shoot a glance towards old Johnny, thinking maybe I'm dreaming, but no hint of alarm can I read on his face, while up in the rigging the wind is still screaming. When I turned back, they vanished without even a trace. Shutting my eyes tightly now to regain my senses, I cannot be certain just what to believe. Could I have crossed over to another dimension? Or is it only delirium brought on by fatigue? I can only conclude it's an hallucination. I must be finally hitting the wall. The effects of fatigue and sleep deprivation, these grim apparitions aren't ghosts after all. I've been ashore all along and I didn't even know it. And the ship ain't the Ava, it's the old AVA, and it holds just a room full of tired fisher poets. They're not even dead, they just look that way. When I come to, the whole crew is topping the ladder, and I give them a nod as they bid me farewell. Gone now are the crowds and the hue and the clatter. Seems another good year has been shot all to hell. The last one to leave is Sir Walter Scott. He lingers a moment. He's mumbling some jive. Want to know what he says? This is his parting shot. It's no fish you're buying. It's men's lives. It's men's lives. So that's how I feel right now. And I'll just say one short thing about just personal, on a personal note. December 15th, I've been in big water and big water offshore, 1,000 miles offshore. I've been, you know, survived some stuff, but I got in big water 5 minutes from home, and it was nearly the end. And I want to say I look at life a little bit differently now, and I'm grateful for every year that I get. I ended up with 5 broken ribs in the emergency room in a surfing accident in Seaside, and I'm good to go. I didn't break anything that can't be repaired, and so I'm really grateful to be alive, and I want to let you all know I love you all, and we're just really grateful for you coming every year and just being part of this with us.
Thank you very much. We won't be here much longer because we need other things we have to do. But you know, I appreciate the thanks you give me, and I get a lot of it. Thank you, and so does Jay. I know the list is enormous, and some of the people I don't want to fail to thank are those of you who come. You know, you come from a long ways away, and it's costly, and you got to put your life on hold and all that stuff. So we are so honored that you make that trip in honor of our work we do, the friendships we're building. And so just thank you all for coming to join us this year, and I suppose we'll probably do it again next. We're grateful to Tom Hill and Floyd Holcomb, who make us feel at home here at Pier 39 and the Hanthorn Cannery Workers Museum, and to a long list of people. You know what, I don't want to fail to miss Florence Sage, who's been helping us for years. And of course, Hobie Kiter, who's been among our inspiration for the whole time. And if we seem to be operating any more efficiently than we have in the past, some of us notice that, but you may not, but it's because Amanda Gladdex has joined the team here in the last couple of years. The list is long.